Bill O'Reilly here, Tuesday, September 22nd, 2020. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update. Here's what's happening across our nation. The far-left mob targets the homes of top Republicans. The Department of Justice labels 3 U.S. cities anarchy zones. New York City's real estate market craters. A majority of Americans have less than $400 in the bank. NFL ratings continue to plummet. Also ahead, are we now living in Lunistan? But first, angry activists protesting outside the homes of prominent Republicans after the GOP vowed to move forward on a new Supreme Court justice. The mob descending on the houses of Senators Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, and Lamar Alexander, demanding the lawmakers wait until after the November election to vote on a new Supreme Court justice. The Department of Justice designating New York City, Portland, Oregon, Seattle as anarchist jurisdictions. The Trump administration claiming the towns permit violence against people and property without repercussion. The move could limit federal funding for those towns. New York Mayor de Blasio still insists violence is no big deal. Average home price in Manhattan plummeting a whopping 56%. Since June, while housing costs in the New York suburbs increased 21%. Commercial real estate in the Big Apple also on the decline. A recent survey from the New York Post says 9 in 10 restaurants and bars were unable to pay rent in August. Patrons can start dining outside on November 30th in New York City at 25% capacity. The city is a disaster. A new study from Chase says 2 of 5 Americans do not have $400 in the bank. The survey shows 25% of U.S. adults have just enough money to cover 1 month's worth of bills. About 20% don't even have a savings account at all. Biggest expense for the average American, rent and credit card bills. Football fans abandoning the NFL in record numbers. Ratings for Sunday Night Football down another 17% from the league's opening week. Just 12 million people watched the New York Patriots take on the Seattle Seahawks. That's a 25% decline from the same time last season. In a moment, as we all know, things are getting crazy in America. Are we living in Lunistan? Right back. Hey, investors seeking steady cash flow, ready to diversify. Have you considered a proven real estate investment fund? NRIA has grown to be one of the nation's leading specialists and offers 10% annualized monthly payouts with bonuses targeted at 18 to 21%. That's right, you could receive steady 10% return monthly payments with bonuses. As its slogan says, they specialize in realty investing done right. You can even use your 401k or IRA to invest. NRIA's 15-year track record and $1.2 billion in new construction development backs you. Learn how you can invest in this hard asset real estate cash flow fund today and receive 10% annualized monthly payouts with bonuses. This is something savvy investors should research and consider. So please call now, 201-210-2727, 201-210-2727, or visit nria.net. Time now for the O'Reilly Update message of the day. Welcome to Loonistan. The combination of COVID fear and a presidential campaign largely based on loathing seems to have created a virtual army of loons who careen across the American landscape like decomposing zombies. I mean, mass hysteria doesn't even begin to cover it. On the political front, both presidential candidates have obvious deficits, yet many of their supporters refuse to acknowledge them. The absolute truth is, President Trump says whatever pops into his mind, no filter, little verification, that can cause problems, obviously. Joe Biden's mind is, well, kind of hard to define, and it's difficult to follow his thought process on many occasions. Bewitched, bothered, bewildered, or something. In his CNN town hall last week, Mr. Biden said, quote, "All the people would still be alive today had Mr. Trump not botched the COVID response. Quite the statement. Mr. Biden also opined that 200 million folks have died from COVID. There are 330 million in the United States, so we'll have lots of space. Therefore, the electorate now has to decide whether the two guys who could say anything at any time should be the next president. As Rod Serling once said, we are traveling in another dimension. It is my belief that COVID, combined with racial tension, fused with political hatred on both the left and the right, has created a kind of madness. So let's take a look. On the right, a number of folks seem to think that wearing a mask to ward off the contagion is a hoax. They apparently believe this despite the fact that New York successfully blunted COVID after everybody masked up. On the left, zealots are rooting for another lockdown, so President Trump gets hurt. Vaccine? Not until after November 3rd for them. The racial thing is totally unhinged. On campuses, the witch hunt to identify racists makes Salem look rational. Writing for The Hill, Georgetown law professor Jonathan Turley reports this about the college environment. Quote, an emerging view is that all whites are racist, or at least presumptively racist. Angela Bell, an assistant professor of psychology at Lafayette College in Pennsylvania, put it simply, quote, if you have to ask if you're a racist, you are. And if you're not asking if you're a racist, you are, unquote. No word on whether Lafayette has a degree in being a racist. According to Ms. Bell, everyone has credits. So we are living in a golden age of lunacy where a battalion of Nurse Ratchets vigilantly patrols the media and academia. There's no escaping these people, no denying the USA is quickly turning into Loonistan. New passports are on the drawing board. So don't be surprised if the nation's two big reality TV programs are America's Got COVID and Dancing with the Racists. There will be no shortage of contestants. I'm Bill O'Reilly, and I approve that message by actually writing it. Disagree? I want to hear from you. Bill at BillO'Reilly.com. And please consider my new book, Killing Crazy Horse. It's a huge bestseller. I'm very pleased, and I thank everybody supporting the book. In a moment, something you might not know. What does COVID-19 have to do with losing your home? Well, the FBI reported that since the virus struck, cybercrime up 75%. Amazing. The legal titles to all homes are online. Home title theft is a cybercrime. Cyber criminals find the title to your home online, forge your signature on a quitclaim deed, and refile as the new owner of your home. Then they take out loans against the home, steal the cash, stick you with the payments. You will not even know it until you get a late payment or foreclosure notice. Home Title Lock protects your home's legal title. Your home is your most valuable asset, your safe haven. Home Title Lock puts a virtual barrier around your home's title. When they detect tampering, they shut it down. So please go to HomeTitleLock.com, register your address to see if you're already a victim. Use code BILL for 30 free days of protection. HomeTitleLock.com, please use code BILL. Now, the O'Reilly Update brings you something you might not know. On this day in September 1692, 7 women, 1 man were hanged in a tiny village in eastern Massachusetts. One of the victims shouted, quote, please don't believe what the children say, unquote. The 8 victims were the last executions of the Salem witch trials, which are referred to in my commentary. A bizarre regional frenzy that seized colonial America for months. Starting in February of 1692, 2 young girls began having fits. A local doctor described the condition as beyond the power of a natural disease. Other children then began complaining of feeling pinched or pricked with pins in the middle of the night. Within days, townsfolk accused 3 people of practicing witchcraft against the children. Over the next few weeks, dozens were facing trials for colluding with Satan in exchange for wealth and power. The youngest accused was 4 years old. She ultimately implicated her mother upon questioning. The local minister even published a book, still available today, titled A Brief and True Narrative of Some Remarkable Passages Relating to Sundry Persons Afflicted by Witchcraft at Our Village, unquote. The methods used to detect the devil in Salem were even more bizarre. The alleged witch would touch blindfolded members of the community. If they fell down or screamed on contact, the verdict was guilty, you're a witch. Others were dunked in ice-cold water, burned using a metal crucifix. In the end, most confessed to avoid torture. By September, 200 people had been accused of witchcraft, 30 found guilty, 19 executed. And here's something else you might not know. Modern psychologists believe the cause of the girl's original condition was actually pretty simple. They were lying. Life in colonial New England was brutal. Villagers under constant threat of Indian attacks, starvation, frigid temperatures. Couple those conditions with religious fervor and malnutrition, many children collapsed psychologically. But it also came down to ignorance and lies on the part of the adults and kids. Back after this. My go-to financial tech research executive, Jeff Brown, has a top-notch newsletter that helps us profit from the exploding tech market. He provides investors like you and me with Wall Street's inside intelligence, knowing how rigged the whole thing is. Jeff's mission with Brownstone Research is to stack the deck in our favor so we can grow our wealth and beat Wall Street. He researches the best technology companies, the newest trends, the biggest opportunities before they appear on Wall Street's radar. And that's why his newsletter far outperforms most hedge funds. He's recommended the number one S&P stock of 2016, 18, and 19. Quite a record. Now, Jeff's subscribers have seen a 432% gain in 41 days with Centrox, with DocuSign 332% with CRISPR. And the winner list goes on and on. So please go to bill5g.com right now. That's bill5g.com, and you'll be happy you did. Thank you for listening to the O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. No spin, just facts, and always looking out for you.